Do you struggle with painting the effects of light and shadow? Whether you're an artist or not, you've probably heard the term painter of light. But what does it mean to paint the light? And most importantly, how do you do it? In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the things I've learned about light, how it works, and most importantly, how to paint it. We'll also go outside so I can show you firsthand how light works. My name is Lee Tako. I've been a professional artist for over 25 years and have been teaching for over 15 years. In this video, I will show you the concepts that took me from being a lonely novice to an award-winning, nationally renowned professional artist. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Now let's get started. Outside, you have three light sources. The first one is direct sunlight. The second one is cool blue skylight, and the third is overcast light. Each of them behaves differently and will create different effects, but understanding them will drastically improve your landscape painting. Let's go outside and talk about the first and most obvious light source, direct sunlight. The three things to remember about sunlight is that it's very bright, warm, and always produces directional light that is moving. As a result, shadows on a sunny day will be defined cast shadows that mimic the shape of the object that is creating them. We have very defined cast shadows here. Even when I put my finger on here and my hand, you can see the very sharp cast shadows on there. Also in her face, you can see the bluer color in here on the cast shadow along her shoulder. And down in here, you can see some blue along her dress or her outfit here. As it starts to shift down, we start to get some of the ambient light bouncing back up in here into this area there. Now, I went into more detail about that on my video about shadows. There'll be a link to that at the end of this video here. But I want you to notice too the very sharp and defined cast shadow that reflects her whole image there. And also the very strongly angled light. The sun, as it moves up higher, this shadow is going to get shorter. Those are some of the characteristics that you're going to have on a sunny day, besides the extreme contrast between the sunlit area on her and the shadow area on her. The next type of light is cool blue skylight. This is not as obvious because it occurs on a sunny day, and because the sun is so much brighter and more obvious, the effects of blue skylight are rarely noticed by most people. But it is there regardless. Because it's blue light, it is very cool in color temperature, diffused, and non-directional. The cast shadows we see on sunny days are actually illuminated with blue skylight. To make things even more complicated, these shadows have their own shadows, which in comparison will appear warm. When you're outside, if you happen to be on the shady side of a building, a mountain, or any other structure that is blocking out the sunlight, you are in an area that is illuminated by blue skylight. So in this area, you're now going to have cool highlights, warm shadows. They're going to be soft and diffused. You will not have cast shadows in one of these areas. Okay, now we have Venus in cool blue skylight. We're in the shady part of the scene. It's still a sunny day. All the parts of her form that are facing upward toward the sky are going to have that very cool light. And all the angles that face downward toward the ground, they're actually picking up, because this is mostly over green grass, it's picking up a warm kind of greenish ambient light in there. No hard cast shadows as we had on a sunny day. Everything's very soft and mottled, and that's why I said either blue skylight or overcast light can be really good if you want to show the subtlety of form and also the local color. If you want to show hard directional light, more dramatic angular light, then sunlight is your way to go. The third type of light is overcast light. This is really sunlight going through a gray filter consisting of cloud cover. This produces a soft, diffused, even temperature light. Because overcast light lacks the extreme contrast that you get on a sunny day, this type of light is usually best for bringing out natural local colors in a subject. Shadows in this light will not have defined shapes, but like the shadows in blue skylight, shadows in overcast light will be soft and diffused. Regarding the color temperature of shadows in overcast light, they're generally about the same color temperature as the light area, but many artists tend to paint the shadows in overcast light just slightly warmer. Okay, so now we have Venus in overcast light. And you can see there's not much difference between overcast light and cool blue sky light. We have the very soft light coming down from straight above. Also, because it's soft, it really brings out the subtleties of form. You don't have those harsh cast shadows and that really harsh bright light like you have in sunlight. So overcast light can be very good if your goal is to go after local color and the very subtleties of form, especially in something like the human figure. One other thing about overcast light that is in a bit of contrast to the blue sky light is that the color temperature between the light and the shadow areas is a lot more evenly balanced. That's because you're dealing with essentially gray light on an overcast day. In the cool blue sky light, this is going to be a bit bluer, like on our shoulders and in any area that's picking up a lot of light. Whereas on an overcast day, it's really more toward just a straight, grayer, lighter color, if you will. In fact, one of the hacks that you can do when you're painting overcast is a lot of times if you're going to move from a shadow area up into a light area, you can add just white, and that'll do the trick in overcast. Whereas if you're doing blue sky light, you'd have to add white and a little bit of like a cobalt or something like that to achieve the same effect. There are some other things to keep in mind about light that will help you with your painting. As the sun gets closer to the horizon, its light gets warmer. This is because at this point, the light has to pass through more layers of dust and pollution and moisture before it reaches our retinas. This is usually the case more at sunset than at sunrise, which means that the light at sunrise will be more of a clean yellowish color, while at sunset it's going to be a warmer orangish color. And because the sun is not as bright when it's closer to the horizon, the light and shadow areas will be closer in value, and the shadows will not appear as dark. In fact, they may be almost the same value as the light areas right before the sun sets. Also, at this time of day, depending on which direction you are facing, you may be able to perceive more detail and value shifts within cast shadows because the less intense sunlight allows your pupils to become more dilated, allowing you to perceive more of what's happening in the cast shadow. Something important for landscape artists to remember about overcast light, because it's a lot weaker than direct sunlight, the overall landscape can appear darker in value and the sky lighter in value than on a sunny day. This is because as the light passes through the cloud cover, all those millions of little water droplets act as prisms, deflecting and bouncing the sunlight through the clouds, but leaving much less light to reach the earth. As a result, skies in an overcast painting will generally be a bit lighter in value than a blue sky on a sunny day, and the earth elements on an overcast day will be comparatively darker. Of course, there are variables and exceptions. Nature does not always conform to our generalizations. These should be considered starting principles to be on the lookout when you're painting landscapes, knowing that nature will sometimes give us caveats. Now, these concepts can be challenging to remember and even more difficult to apply to your own work, but they are essential for achieving successful landscape painting. If you feel that you need personal guidance on your painting journey, I do offer mentorship and guided instruction at oilpaintingplus.com. This is not just watching a video and painting along. My gold membership level consists of live group sessions where I give personalized feedback to each member. I also have platinum membership where we meet one-on-one on a weekly basis to speed up your transformation as an artist. If you would like to receive this personalized guidance from me, check out the link below.